with your higher self. Know you're on the podcast and the channel, The Lonely Stream Delicatessen. With me, as always, is the Pinoy Boy Toy, Mike Noveloso, our
Hello.
technical guru, constantly figuring out issues and putting out fires. And our guest tonight, speaking of putting out fires, has been a friend of, like, one of my best friends for what, like, 6 years, 5 years now, some shit like that.
I don't know if I can
Yeah.
keep track of that shit.
I don't keep track of time because I'm Cuban, but fucking.
That's so fucking accurate.
But yeah, no, Velozo's super Asian. He's learned that really quick. I think we had like a schedule to meet at like 8 o'clock one morning, and I was the second earliest, arriving at around 9:45, and to follow everyone else made it by noonish. True story, I'm pretty sure. But so we're gonna call you Lumbercat because I know you don't want to have completely too much info out there based on your work and all that kind of thing. Dude, tell us what the fuck you've been doing. You've been in California now for how long?
About a year. I stayed out here for a few months at the beginning of last year. For the Paradise Fires, which I actually worked the trees in that. Then I went home for hurricane season, and then came back out, and I've been doing safety observations on the tree crews out here. And right now we happen to be right in the middle of the fire zones, and it's pretty fucking gnarly out there right now.
I heard it was.
Dude.
Some shit on a fucking Pylon Hill or something. Like, I was driving down the fucking highway yesterday, and I'm like, what the fuck am I going into?
Right.
Dude.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard it
Yeah.
was like 120 degrees like 2 weeks ago, like over most of the state. Just like even the parts that weren't on fire.
Just the other day, it was pretty fucking hot out here. Up in NorCal, it doesn't get quite as hot, especially as close to the coast as I am.
Yeah.
But, fucking, like, we had tree guys about to fucking fall out. I fucking called my boss, and I was like, I'm going to the fucking shop. I'm tired of getting ice and water and shit. These guys are fucking die out here. And I'm gonna do the fucking aerial rescue for catastrophic muscle failure and heat exhaustion. He was like, go.
Wow. Holy shit, man.
That's crazy.
That is so wild. So,
Yeah.
for everybody who doesn't know, you're an arborist. I mean,
Yeah.
is that what technically we would call you?
Yeah, kind of.
You're a tree person.
Certified, but
You're a fucking modern day druid. You fucking. As long as I've known you, you've been meddling with plants and animals and healing them in various ways. Healing them or ending them, whatever it's
Even
called
if they
for.
don't really want me to,
The meddler.
You're a fucking mother now. Get over here.
That was the fucking joke back in the day. We called Cat the meddler, and we're like, she'll meddle you back to hell. At any time you could go over to her house, and there'd be like a tortoise and a possum and a fucking African tree toad and a fucking gang of rabbits. Like,
Oh yeah.
on top of that, she'll be like, hey, come check out this fucking log from this giant tree that I dropped today in the
Nice.
back of my truck, and I think it fucked up my suspension. Fucking.
Good time.
Yeah, your house.
Nice.
Your house was always like a weird magic rainforest. It's like Fern Gully. Like fucking. I remember being at your house and like sitting eating a pizza, hanging out, me and Gabe, and then all of a sudden I looked down at the floor and fucking there's a cockatoo eating my fucking flip flop. Fucking straight up janking my flip flop, and I'm like, "Coño chico, por qué?" He totally responds well to Spanish.
And then
So
fucking Sneaky Pete.
about a year ago, you fucking decided to give a shot to a new thing and go out to Cali and see what this is all about out there. And from what I've seen on social media, you've had some pretty awesome experiences, like being in some of the biggest trees in the country, let alone the world. How was that?
Actually, the trees that I got into, or the tree that I got into, was not anywhere close to one of the biggest. I know that the thing after I left that event, they went and climbed some of the big fucking 300 footers.
Wow.
But no, they were pretty fucking gnarly. Still some decent sized trees. I mean, it's not uncommon in that particular area to find a tree that's about 200 plus feet.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And from what I understand, is like the bigger ones tend to be down in the lowerlands or whatever. I
Like the
don't know.
foothills, yeah.
Water and fog belts and shit. I don't know. I specialize in
Right.
Florida.
Right. You know about swamp and sand.
Yeah, I'm a fucking swamp demon. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like fucking evergreens and royal palms, bitch. What do you got? Fucking.
Yeah.
What are those palm trees called that have like scales?
Oh.
That's like the real native Florida palm trees, right?
Like the tri-palms?
They look like they got fucking scales. They're
The
like.
same one?
Is that a sable palm where you could like pull a fucking chunk off of it and there's a scorpion and a fucking centipede and a fucking
Yeah.
There's every deadly Florida bug
yeah
in
and a
it.
lizard orgy, whatever's going on in there, like
And a snake
fucking.
pit.
That's like the real deal, fucking Seminole Indian palm tree, fucking.
I mean,
Right?
yeah, kind of. There's actually, I want to say, there's a few different fucking palms that are native to Florida, more than you would think.
That's what
I forget.
my dad does, like tree buying for
Oh, what?
for land. He does tree buying for like landscape companies.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, like it's really annoying to like ride around here in the car with him because he'll be like, that's this kind of palm, and then like say it's
That's
fucking
cat.
like it's like name in Latin or whatever, and like the genus and the subspecies, and I'm like, that's cool, I know that, and he's like, oh, you do, and I'm like, yeah, because for the past 15 years, every time we drove by that palm tree, you would say those exact same words. Like, yeah, I know that now.
Kat came to visit us in Georgia, and we were going through a park out here, and she said, "So I heard so many fucking tree names that I never fucking thought I would in one walk,
Yeah,
in one hike up a fucking hill, fucking 40 different. I'm like, all looks like a fucking pine tree. to
yeah,
me
yeah.
now."
They're all pine trees. Yeah, all pine
Yes,
trees are
it's
palm
super
trees.
cool to see somebody who's so specialized in their skill set, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, I don't even just know. Like, we're gonna live out here, bitch. Like, we're gonna survive. We can eat some of these bitches, and I know which ones.
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
That shit was always a lot of fun.
You know, some people shove religion down your throat. I just shove tree shit. that you
Tree
don't give
genus.
Tree
and
shit and like
species.
random pieces
Species.
of nectarines and fucking fruit at campouts.
fruits and raspberries.
Kat was also one of our my best camping buddy actually, like of the past fucking 5 years for sure.
Nice.
Because I think she realized, like, all right, I know these dudes. Andrew's gonna bring a cooler full of meat and a cooler full of water, and then everything else is in the wind. So Kat would bring like
Nice.
fruit, and all of a sudden you'd have a fucking plum in your hand and be like, "What the fuck?
No.
This is a fantastic
Yes.
idea. Why didn't I have it?"
You need
I'm over here
good.
eating the back of a rabbit.
Yeah, you need other things.
Hell yeah, dude. Those fucking curried rabbits.
Curry rabbit was the shit,
Yeah.
yeah. Fucking curry rabbit over open fire is the
the
business.
pork loins and the marshmallows.
Yes. We had a.
Oh
It's
my.
good time.
I don't remember which camp out it was specifically, but I remember one camp out where the fucking sky opened up to the point where the tents were just done, and we were like, yeah, we're in it. We're just in the rain now, and we'll get the fire as big and as high as we can so that there's like a steamy, dry area-ish around it. And then after a certain point where everybody piled into cars and just like front seated it for the night, fucking for the wet evening.
Oh no. That's
Yep.
see, like camping seems like a lot of fun, and I used to go camping a lot, like when I lived in California and Colorado. But like Florida camping does not seem fun to me.
It's the best. It's the best.
It does not seem fun. To me.
We've gone camping in June, bitch. We've gone
Yeah,
camping in
no, I'm good. Like, it seems cool to go camping in northern Florida during the winter time, because that's like going camping in Georgia, like all the time. I feel like.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, look. So, like, Florida, in the area that we camped a lot in Martin County, was actually really fucking awesome after October. After October, it
I
was
bet.
perfect.
Yeah,
Like, it
that's
was
what I'm saying.
Like, mid to late October, and we did that a lot. But also, sometimes you get, like, you know, a big bag of something, and you get a wild hair up your ass, and fucking, you'd say, hey, you guys want to go out to that spot? And you go, you know, it's May, right?
Right.
And then you're like,
Or August,
yeah,
or even
but
worse.
we've
Like
done
August
we've
would
done
be
a
the worst.
mid-June. We've We've done a
Oh
mid-June.
God.
I've seen this person who we have on our podcast, Mike, in mid-June in like a long T-shirt, setting up a tent, as mosquitoes the size of hummingbirds
Yeah,
are just
I'm
smacking
good.
into your face.
That
But
sounds
after
like
10 minutes, you don't even give a fuck. I don't know what it is. Maybe we're just so Floridian, like to the
Yeah.
bones.
No, you
that,
are.
like,
Yeah.
after a while,
Swamp demons.
dude,
Yeah, no.
after a while, careful what you conjure, cat.
Yeah. No, that's definitely what you guys are because like I'm from cold places, cooler places, you know. Like the San Joaquin Valley actually gets a little bit hotter than Death Valley every once in a while, but like
Yeah.
we still were just like, well, we just don't go outside when that
If
happens,
you got
you
a
know.
long sleeve shirt and either a face shield or a mesh, you're good. Like there's nothing's gonna fuck with you. Like I'll smoke 20 joints.
Those fucking mosquitoes will bite you through that shit. You
Yeah,
damn well
but
know.
not that
Take your
bad.
fucking ankles off.
How many nights? Yeah, but who needs ankles? How many nights did we spend where it's just like, yeah, mine from the knee down, it's over, and I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. Or get those shins right up on that fire. Get those shins right up on that fire. A lot of fun. We had a
You're
lot
not
of
making a
fun.
good case for me going and doing
Impromptu
camping videos
Summer
with you.
Florida camping.
No.
Impromptu. Well, we wouldn't do those videos unless
Okay.
it was like the late fall, perfect conditions, because we want to get some
Sure.
bigs. You know. What I
Yeah,
mean?
man. Yeah.
They
And
are also
and be able to wear
down
long
in the summer.
sleeve and long and pants. Yes.
I mean, you can wear pants in June and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
one sacrifice or the other.
Just gonna
Bugs
be dead.
or super muggy balls.
Yeah.
You got to pick. So, yeah. So, what is the biggest difference that you've experienced, and like the funnest thing that you've experienced topography wise, like being a person who's into nature, does a lot of hiking, does a lot of fun shit like that, coming from Florida, going to the spots in California you've been, what's been like the coolest contrast?
Being able to get in the water and not have to worry about alligators. I mean, you know me, I'll fuck with the gators. I'll fuck with the gators. But like, you can go in the water at night, and there ain't shit that's
No,
gonna
there's nothing.
grab your fucking leg off.
Wow. Okay, that's dope.
I
Okay.
do. Yeah, I can back that up. Like, that was the weirdest thing because I've lived all over the nation, and you can pretty much go in the water anywhere. And then down here, I was like, oh, we can like,
Monsters.
yeah.
There's
People were talking. Yeah,
monsters.
people were like, oh, you can't go in the water at night, and I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, man, let's go. And then they go to the water, they
You
shine.
can't go in the water if it's murky. Bitch.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You can't,
Like if you
if
can't
you
see.
can't see it.
Yeah, if you can't
don't
see.
try it.
I was just like, oh, really?
Listen,
And they're like, yeah,
there's a-
gators everywhere.
I believe
Oh,
there's a breeding populace of Nile crocodiles in the state of Florida now. There's enough of them that there's a breeding pool.
in the Everglades, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I
if it's
heard
in the
that.
Everglades, it's everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
If it's in the Everglades, it's everywhere, bro. That's how Florida works.
Yep.
Some asshole in 1988 got rid of his boa constrictor. Now there's a billion of them. That's just how they run.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
Florida is reptile heaven. I
Same.
believe there's like an active
With the
bounty.
monitor.
Well, I think there's an active bounty for certain reptiles, specifically a lot of
Yeah.
different constrictors in the state of Florida, where like if you jack a fucking boa constrictor while you're out hunting and you bring the body to the fucking animal control, you can get a reward. I
Oh,
believe, in
nice.
certain counties.
I bet with the crocodiles too, right?
I think with certain ones you're not supposed to fuck with though. 'cause
The
there's
Nile
like
crocodiles, like
I
that's
think
you
the
got to
Nile
get rid of
crocodiles you
those.
can jack.
You got to
But
get rid of
ones-
those.
There's ones that are like American Cayman or what? What cat? You probably know what I'm talking about. Is it the North American Cayman that we have? That's like the version of a crocodile that's Florida.
But it's
native?
small.
Yeah, but they look the same as the Nile when they're young, when they're little.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
they say is like.
We have American crocodile.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they don't get big like the
They're
Nile
not good as
crocodile.
big as the Nile crocodile for sure.
Yeah, like
No,
the
they're pretty shy. They're pretty shy, and they don't get very big at all.
yeah,
And the Nile crocodiles are known for being extremely aggressive.
Yeah.
and they get to the size of a beetle.
To my knowledge, and fucking assholes. Like they're known
Yeah.
for like.
They're like obsessive hunters too, supposedly, right? Once they pick you out, they want you. Like they're gonna try and get you.
Yeah, and the problem
That's
is
terrifying.
they're the size of a Volkswagen Beetle sometimes, and they go in freshwater and they go into the sea. So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they're
brackish
just
as
like,
fuck.
I don't care, and it's just a Volkswagen Beetle pulling you under. That's all. Just a car,
Terrifying.
just a
Terrifying.
car pulling you under. That you
So the
have
area-
nothing to do.
Yeah.
You cannot do anything. They don't even need to roll.
No, they just take you. They just take
I'm
you.
heavier.
Well, the area that we were always camping in back in the day was known for like a lot of pigs, and it's because it was a cattle lease. Like the surrounding areas was a bunch of cattle around. Like farmers would lease like the government land. It was a wildlife management area, and you had like I think about 25,000 acres was what the whole area was, and you had farms all around it. So it was really rich, Martin County, like really rich land as far as like what kind of animals were around. But it wasn't known for gators. But every now and then, supposedly cows would go missing, and people assumed it was poachers. And there was a story that came out like a couple of years back, and it lined up to the time, Kat, that we would be hanging out there. Do you remember if you were like northeast of the basin where the camp was at the trailhead? Like there was that marsh. You know what I'm talking about?
Out off of Martin Highway?
Yeah, where we would go camping. There was like that trailhead that it all ended at that basin, and it had all those like I don't know what kind of palms there were, those tall, skinny palm trees and all the campsite areas.
Yeah, all the sable palms in it.
Yeah. And then so if you were looking to the northeast, that was like that marsh.
Yeah.
So if you know what I'm saying, there was like that little pond, and then there was like that little ridge, and over the ridge was like a marsh. That was like an 85-acre marsh. And then to the other side was that path that went to those open pastures and corral lands and little like overgrown shit out there.
That's where we saw Edward Snowden.
Yeah. Fucking hey, I forgot about that. That guy, there was something going on there. Laptop and a tent, that's a weird combo in general. In general. But anyway, fucking, so that area, supposedly, they found a humongous gator that was grabbing cows.
That does not surprise me in the least. I'm pretty sure I've heard alligators bellowing back there when we were camping in the summer.
That fucking shit.
Yeah. They don't ever stop growing.
Frequency, you can feel it in your chest.
Yeah.
They don't ever stop growing either, right?
Supposedly, they didn't think there was many gators out there, and I guess the reason was because there was one big, bad, dominant one that just fucking
ate everything.
We're kicking it with. Yeah, like they were all like, let's not hang out in there. All fucking that guy's a dick.
Well, it's kind of like over in I was fucking kayaking over in Riverbend one time. And you know what I'm talking about? Over in Jupiter.
Okay. Yeah.
Off the Indian Town Road. Well, somebody told me about this monster fucking female alligator that lives back in Cow Lake. And they say it's a 13-foot female alligator. And I'm like, bullshit. Female alligators do not get that big.
13 foot.
So my kayak is 13 foot. So, I drag my kayak up the culvert and I start paddling back there, and I notice there's no fucking alligators anywhere back there. And the guy that I took with me was, one of my zoo friends or whatever. He was, one of the volunteers or something like that. And I think it was him anyway. Anyway,
he wasn't ready.
They were like, well, that's supposedly the island that, or no, it couldn't have been him. It had to have been somebody else. I don't remember. Anyway, they were like, that's the island that Big Bertha or whatever lives on. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I fucking paddled over to it. I beach my kayak, and I noticed that all the plant life on this little island is all like fucking like smushed over and shit. Like,
so is Riverbend that spot where you're just west of the intercoastal? Is that is Riverbend where you're just west of the intercoastal in Jupiter?
Kind of. It's where Trapper Nelson's and all that shit is.
I don't know if I know Trapper Nelson's, but
out into I want to say like the Jupiter Inlet or something.
Because I feel like there's a park northwest of the intercoastal in Jupiter where like I've been with Tom canoeing and shit with homies and like seen some fucking pretty big ass fucking gators up in there too. Like,
so I get onto this fucking island, okay, and I kind of I noticed that everything's kind of flattened out. I'm like, that's so fucking weird, And I look to the sides of my kayak, and there's these monster fucking, like, foot drags, and there's like this big fucking tail drag right in front of my kayak, and the belly drag part of it was wider than my fucking kayak, which is almost 3 feet across. And it was like, I just kind of backed away from it, and I was like, no,
I don't even want
do this
to.
fucking-
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah,
Fuck.
there's no
And that
reason to
was
see
the
that.
only time I've ever noped out of a situation because of an alligator.
Dude.
I didn't have to see the motherfucker. That was enough.
We have to go to that park. Like the three of us have to go to that park in Louisiana where there's like supposedly like a over 200-year-old alligator, and
What?
the head is like the size of like a desk of like your canoe. Like the
Fucking-
head.
I've heard stories about gators
But,
like
like,
that
it's-
in the Glades too, man,
yeah.
where it's like an insane, ancient, fucking crazy thing. I think some of those are probably like Nile crocodiles that people have seen, or big salties
Well,
that are in there.
this
doing some
guy,
shit
he
people
just- he
thought was a
doesn't-
gator.
This guy in that park, he doesn't leave his cove because they feed him like a whole cow every day.
Oh, he's like an
Not every day.
attraction?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know what you're saying. Yeah, he's
But,
like,
like,
an attraction.
Yeah, when they go to feed him, like his head comes up and it's like a car, and you're like, oh, just the head is the size of a car. I'm good. I think,
Those are dinosaurs, man.
Yeah,
Those are
man.
Dinosaurs.
but like it's super friendly. The guy will like touch it. Like the tour guide will be like, I can touch it. Like he knows me.
Well,
I
cat'll
feed him
probably
like all
tell
the
you,
time.
Is it with
Like-
reptiles? Is it friendly, or is it like they get accustomed to a routine and a familiarity? Like,
I think it's more it's more of like a familiarity thing because they say
Yeah.
that most reptiles don't have the ability to feel emotions.
yeah,
The closest thing I've ever seen come
yeah, because
to that-
you've worked with quite a few different kinds of reptiles too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
about
when
the
I worked at this
ones with
zoo,
the
I didn't work,
big-
I wasn't like an animal trainer or anything like
Yeah.
that, but I was a horticulture specialist. And, the closest thing that I've ever seen come to that would be probably an alligator. They're extremely intelligent for having a brain the size of a fucking walnut. And, Freddy still comes to his fucking name if I go to the zoo and call him. He'll come
Right.
Oh,
on him.
that's what I was saying. There's that guy in Brazil that like raised this albino crocodile from like an egg or whatever, and he like gets in the water with him, and he's huge. Like
Yeah.
he's like the size of that alligator you were talking about. You saw the tracks for, and he'll like roll with it and give it hugs and kisses and put its head in its mouth, and he'll wrestle with it and he'll be rough with it, and it'll just be like, all right, we're friends, I guess, or whatever.
I want to say my
Like,
dad
it's crazy.
knew an old lady who had a fucking alligator she called Romeo. She used to throw chickens to. Like, she used to just
Oh,
throw
yeah, I
whole
bet.
chickens to him. Like, they're anything. They're opportunistic, right? If there's
Mhm.
a coyote that you leave a bowl of milk out for every night, it's gonna
Yeah.
come around every night. You know what I mean? Like, and it's gonna jack your fucking, whatever's around. Like, that's what they're opportunistic.
Yeah.
They're crafty. They're smart. They'll go where there's food, the
What-
easiest food.
Those lizards with the big round glands on their jaws that people have as pets, those things are pretty much just dogs, but are reptiles.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, tegus. Those are apparently like the super like nicest reptile, and those ones actually like
Are turtles
affection.
reptiles?
Turtles?
Are turtles
Mhm.
reptiles or
Yeah.
amphibians?
They're reptiles.
They're reptiles. Fuck. What about a tortoise?
A tortoise is also a reptile. It's just a
Yeah.
land version of a
They
turtle.
just seem cool. They just seem kind of more chill. Like a tortoise seems like
I
he would
feel
sit
like-
with you and be like, "Yeah, I'm fucking kicking it. Can I have a tomato or whatever?" Like fucking.
Well, do you remember my tortoise, Sneaky Pete?
Yeah, he just.
I feel
he-
like-
Was he the interdimensional tortoise?
Yeah, the interdimensional space tortoise.
Yeah.
I feel like Andrew's asking that because he's had a situation like on The Office where they set the tortoise free by putting him in the water, and
Oh,
somebody's
no,
like,
no,
somebody's
no,
like,
no.
it's turtles that swim, not
I can look at
tortoises.
the feet.
It's
I'm
like,
from
oh, no.
Florida. I can look
Yeah.
at the feet and tell you if it goes in a
If
hole
it
or
swims,
goes in
yeah.
a canal.
Yeah.
Little tree trunk feet don't
Yeah.
go in the
Yeah,
water.
yeah, definitely don't throw something that looks like a little elephant foot in the water. It's not
Yeah.
good.
Hippos have elephant feet.
Fucking
No, they
my
don't.
no, they have little
You're right.
like toes and
Yeah,
shit. Like yeah,
but they're
they have little cloven, like almost like a pig foot.
Hippos got weird as fuck feet.
Yeah, aren't they like a pig
oh
foot?
yeah,
Isn't
it's
it
like
close
a
pig
it looks
foot?
like a mix between a elephant foot and a horse foot.
It's fucking weird.
It is weird. That is
Hippos
very
are gnarly
weird.
animals.
Though I might be wrong on.
They're like a giant horse pig, huh?
Yeah, that's a good. It's like a horse with
Prehistoric
toes.
horse pig.
It's a horse with
Terrifying.
toes.
Motherfuckers too.
Terrifying.
That's the meanest animal on the planet.
One of the few animals that I would not.
Hippos are not to be
Yeah.
fucked with.
That's the meanest animal on the planet,
Hippos
right?
are not to be.
Come here, little hippo.
Hippos have a high body count too. Hippos kill more than lions and crocodiles in Africa every year.
Like combined.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and like
Jack
all
a
the
lot.
other
'Cause
animals
they're super
combined.
territorial. They'll fuck you up. They'll snap you in half real
And it's-
quick.
And it's an animal that once again they're like a car. They're just the
Yeah.
size of a car that'll bite you
Yeah.
and they'll bite
It's
a
like a
car in
little-
half.
It's like a sprinter running into
Yeah.
you, fucking biting you.
Yeah.
The only video I've seen of them running away from an animal is like they run away from the honey badger like everything else does.
Honey, anything that's in the Wolverine family, honey badgers, Wolverines.
Yeah.
Fucking, is it? Were we talking about this before? Isn't a mongoose in that fucking like?
Yeah. Well,
lineup?
those
And
are
a
the
mongoose
two.
will fucking Ali a fucking
A cobra.
bro.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Oh, that
dude,
reminds me of when
those
we
are
were talking
gangster
about that.
animals.
Have you seen, the Indian guy that was on Silicon Valley? The comedian? He's in.
Kumail Nanjiani, is that
Yes,
his name?
yes.
He's Pakistani,
Yeah, Pakistani. Have you seen his stand up about like what it's like to go to a birthday party in Pakistan?
I don't remember that specifically, but I know I've enjoyed his stand-up
Where-
before. He seems really funny.
he
And I think
talks about
posts
that.
Mark Maron. That makes me
Oh
kinda
yeah.
like him.
Yeah, that makes me happy too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's talking about it like he was at an 8-year-old's his bully's birthday party, right? When he was
I think
8.
I remember something
And-
about a story like this.
Yeah.
He had some good like bully stories, like
This was his main bully story, and then he starts talking about how you've probably heard about the mongoose and the cobra thing because you're all racist, but that was a real thing, and we were all cheering on the mongoose, and then everybody stopped cheering as the mongoose dismembered the cobra while it was still alive and ate it in front of a crowd full of 8-year-olds covered in
That's
in
hilarious.
cobra blood.
That's
But
awesome.
his delivery was much better. But that always reminds me when you're like, oh yeah, a mongoose, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a hilarious bit.
It's a gangster animal.
Yep, the mongoose. It's like the family is very small of like what Wolverines and
Aren't they they're weasels.
they're
right?
weasels and badgers. Yeah,
Yeah.
but those three are like other animals are like, all right, I'm just gonna keep walking and hope they don't see me.
It's like I'm out, bro.
Yeah.
It's cool. You can have it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
man.
know how to. I don't know how to defend myself against this. And we're a
Whatever.
pack of hyenas.
Whatever it is, like no, you can have it. It's cool.
I was like, oh man, we worked really hard for this kill, but the honey badger's here. We all got to get out of here. Yeah. Honey badger, Wolverine. Well, Wolverines take down moose, right? Or they don't take them down, or they can like get rid of them.
They'll jack a moose.
Yeah, man, that's crazy because they're not big. Yeah.
They gut them. They go up under them, and they fucking open. That's what they do with a lot of shit. They
Dude.
open shit up. Bears won't fuck with them. A grizzly
Yeah,
bear will see.
yeah.
Will see a Wolverine or a fucking honey badger and be like, not worth it.
I can run faster than him, and I
Yeah.
should use that to
And
run away now.
A bear is also an omnivorous fucking opportunist, so he's gonna be like, if there's other food sources around, it's like a lot of berries on that hill, bro. I want to go up there and eat all these berries. I think I know where there's a beehive.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to. I saw a fucking hippie camping way easier than
Way
this
easier.
fucking Wolverine.
This fucking Wolverine, man. Yeah.
Wolverine just gonna open up your fucking
Once
nutsack
again-
and start eating you while you're
Yeah, dude, that's once again that's two animals that are the size of a car that are like one's in Africa and it's like honey badger, nope, and the other one's in Canada. It's like a Wolverine. I guess I'm dead, and I'm a moose. I can
Supposedly Montana,
destroy a car, and this
Montana
little thing is gonna
and,
kill me.
Colorado and some areas bordering California, some of California's border states have had big resurgences in brown bears because of all the sanctions against hunting them.
Well, that's
Saw
good.
the other day up kind of near Yosemite.
A brown bear or a cinnamon bear?
Huh?
A brown bear or a cinnamon bear? The cinnamon bear.
A bear.
And it was
A
too
bear.
big to be a black bear.
Well, they're saying there's a lot more black and brown mixed bears that they call them cinnamon bears. They're a little bit darker than like your standard brown bear, but they get way bigger than the fucking black bear.
Yeah,
They get
maybe
way
that's
bigger than that, like 250. Because a black bear will cap out around like 300.
Ooh,
Like, you're not finding a black bear too much bigger than me. And I
Yeah.
mean, that's still
Like a
major
growl-
problem.
like a growler
What?
bear. Have you heard about that in Canada?
A growler
A
bear? Oh, the
growler
grizzly
bear?
polar bear mix? I've heard about those, yes.
Dude, those
Yes.
things are apparently bigger than polar
Gnarly.
bears.
Gnarly. So there used to be a bear, like up in fucking what would be like modern day Alaska, whatever, back in the fucking like early fucking indigenous people days, called a short faced bear that was like bigger than a grizzly bear or a polar bear. And they're saying that like there's a possibility that there could be, like with how sparse polar bears are and how way out there they are, there's a possibility that there could theoretically somewhere in the tundras be a short faced bear still.
No,
Which is like,
they were
I
saying,
love cryptozoological shit like that, where it's like,
dude,
send me the weird shit.
the
Like,
growler bear that the dude shot because he thought it was a grizzly bear or whatever, but it was way too far north. I guess when they like got closer to it, they're like, holy shit, this is like much taller than a fucking polar bear, and it's like the dimensions of it was built different than a grizzly bear or a polar bear, but it had
right,
the
it had
longer,
attributes of both.
but it had like a way longer snout than a polar bear, which is crazy because those have the longer snouts out of all of like the North American bears. But then like its head was huge, like car animals, car-sized animals, but it was a bear.
It's such a weird world. Like I love that we're like living on this planet full of monsters, and most people completely don't have to deal with it at any time in their day.
No.
If then you step slightly outside of like suburban
that
or city
guy?
life, and shit's around. Like shit's around. Like so. Speaking of that, so you saw a bear recently. What fucking? How close? Where were you?
We go off roading up in the mountains a lot, actually, up where the fucking creek fire is happening right now. And there's a bunch of off road trails and shit up there that we usually go camping off of. And so we were driving up kind of near there, and this fucking bear just comes barreling out of the fucking woods, and it like stops in front of the truck and then just keeps hauling ass the other direction. And that motherfucker was getting it, like not stopping for shit. Like he's fucking barreling over fucking trees and shit that fell in the fucking road and shit. I was like, no, that's a big motherfucker. My boyfriend was like, is that a black bear? And I was like, no, that's way too big to be a black bear. And he was like, "No, he can be brown sometimes." And I'm like, no. Like, that was a big motherfucker.
It's like its ass is higher than the hood of the vehicle. It's not a black bear.
Yo, so
Big.
have you seen that Asian guy with blonde hair that was on Joe Rogan that went to the Congo looking for a dinosaur?
What? No.
David Cho.
Yes, David Cho.
Yeah.
What I was saying is if our channel gets big enough, Kat, do you want to go looking for dinosaurs in other countries? There we go.
Dude,
Let's do that.
She is down.
I'm so fucking down.
Dude, the
Bro,
Congo.
I'm gonna invest in this shit. We
Yeah.
can go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because I know there's places.
Once we're cashing checks off of this shit, that's the first thing. We're sending people out on missions.
Yes. Well,
I'm so down to go hunt down some fucking cryptid shit.
David
That
Cho
would be
David
dope.
Cho seems like he got scared and didn't want to continue
The
anymore.
Congo is scary.
Yes, the Congo
Of course
is.
he got scared.
is literally
I'm
the
scared of
scary-
Congo,
yeah,
and
I-
I'm in my fucking basement. Right
Yeah,
now.
I don't want to go there ever. Yeah,
I'd go. I'm not saying I wouldn't go.
I
I'd
wouldn't go.
But I'd be scared.
I would not
I'd
go
be fucking
ever.
scared. And I'd want like 8 months to get in real good, like run for your life kind of shape.
And then
Fucking-
take like
Shit you don't want to run from, though. Like, that's the worst thing that you can do with that.
I'm not
kind of-
talking about the animals, man.
Oh, you're
The,
talking
an-
about
the animals, it's fake. Yeah, the animals, if you're lucky and you're smart, the animals is what it is. I'm talking about the people. Like, those are some areas in turmoil.
No,
the Congo has been in
it's
turmoil
the
for a
people
long time.
saved him. The people saved David Cho from.
Yeah, sure,
the-
maybe
the
they
jungle.
did in that case. Maybe
No,
in
they
that case,
do. They like they're not. There's no lost tribes in the Congo anymore. The only
I'm
thing
not
is,
talking about lost tribes. I'm talking about conflicts and shit going on within.
no,
where
then
you're
you
walking in
want
an
to
area where
go.
there's-
No, then you want to go into the jungle if there's conflicts because the people that are having conflicts, the teenagers and the children shooting at each other, are in the cities and the villages. You want to go into the jungle because they don't
I'm
want to
just
go
saying,
there.
I believe there's like a power vacuum in the Congo right now, isn't there? There's like a lot of different factions.
When is
vying
there
for
isn't?
tops. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
a
like
perpetual
getting
thing.
there, you'll be safer in the jungle than you
Fuck
would
yeah.
be like by
I
the
would just want
airport.
to find out too how to get a strap. Like how it would probably be pretty easy to get an AK and a couple fucking full mags fucking in the
Yeah,
Congo.
man. You wouldn't even need to bring money. Like you could bring like food and be like, it's enough rice
some-
for. I got a bag of rice. I got a 5-pound bag of rice. How many AKs can I get? They throw 5 of them at you. They're like, cool. AKs are
Clack, clack,
1
clack,
pound.
clack, clack,
Yeah.
clack.
Yeah. AKs are 1 pound of rice apparently. But yeah, I want to like start doing stuff like that. Like yeah, where like I'll
Yes,
go.
yes, we can. That'll be
I'll
tremendous.
I'll go with you as far as like South Africa, and then just be like, Godspeed. There's cities and air conditioning here.
I'm pretty
like,
sure
good luck.
Asians are like third-class citizens in South Africa. You better watch
No,
out.
no. Like
Hey, bro,
to-
what are you doing here? What are you
No.
doing here with your little eyes?
To-
Come on, bro. Why are you in Africa?
to white people, yeah, but to black people, no. It's weird in South Africa, and then in most of
I
Africa,
would not pretend to understand
we're
the
space
dynamic
people.
in South Africa.
in the rest of Africa, we're space people, which is cool. We're from
I
the
know a couple
stars.
South African dudes, and I love their fucking like South African white dude accent. Hey, bro, what's going on? over here?"
Afrikanus,
Yeah,
Afrikanus.
Afrikaan.
yes.
They're fucking like Diane word and shit, but
Yeah.
with a farm and a fucking
Have you
Winchester
seen-
rifle instead of like weird tattoos on their fucking face and a mullet.
Have you seen Charlize Theron like go into her Afrikanus accent?
Dude, African? No,
Dude.
I haven't. I don't know that I have, but I
It's
could imagine
thick.
it. I can imagine it.
She was like I don't like her as a person, but like she tells some pretty funny stories about
Just like, not my
she's-
cup of tea. Not my
yeah,
cup of tea.
she seems like a real
I don't
shit
like it.
human. But like, and this is actually one of the reasons why I think she's a shit human, because it's always like, you know how like subtly racist white people think every person speaking another language is talking shit about them. Apparently, like her and her mom were talking shit about this guy in Afrikanus in like L.A. and then he just slapped right back at him and he's like, "Hey, can you stop fucking talking shit about me in Afrikanus?" And they were like,
Stop talking shit
yeah, they
about
were
me,
just
bro.
like, they're like, oh, and she's like, and now my mom and I never talk Afrikanus outside of the house again. And I was like, well, I
I've
mean,
done
you
that
were
to
being a
people with
piece of
Spanish
shit.
A lot of times. I've
Yeah.
done that to people with Spanish quite a many times.
Yeah, but like you said people do it to you, and then you're like, which one? Is it
Yeah,
you
that's
talking
my
about the
favorite
big
thing.
white guy?
Where I'm
Yeah.
like,
You were the guy.
"¿Qué gringo está hablando? ¿Qué
Yeah,
gringo?
you were the guy
Claro,
that
claro."
Charlize Theron and her mom made fun of basically, and he was like, except for he was like apparently she said he let them go for a while, and they were ripping on him until he was just like, God.
I
God,
love the idea that it's
just
like they
like,
were
God.
getting into it.
That's what she said. She's like, I feel like if somebody were ripping on me for 1 minute, I would turn around and be like, hey, I understand you. But she's like, he let us go on for a good 10 to 15 minutes. And I was like,
There it
oh,
is.
God.
Making sure you really make a full ass out of it.
Yeah, that's what he was
Yeah.
doing. He was like, oh, they don't know that I know. Oh, they're talking about me. Oh, what the
Oh,
fuck? Who the
really?
fuck are these people? All right, fucking keep going. You
That's
dumb.
too funny.
Yeah, you dumb motherfuckers. Yeah, keep
That's
going.
too funny.
Yeah, he was like, I'll let you dig that hole deep.
It's
And
like,
then
get on,
crap.
get on in there.
And then he just die Antwerp clapped back at him. Brap, brap. In that crazy, almost English language.
Those kind of languages are the most. Listen, I've tried to explain this to people before. Cuban is to Spanish what Jamaican is to English, right? And it's the same thing with languages like that Africano, where it's like there's like
Yeah.
Dutch in there and like
There's
native.
a lot of hard
different-
R's.
Yeah, and then you
Rolls.
have like also English. Like, it's,
Yeah.
I love shit like that, where it's like, you see what we always took, man. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, okay,
It's
all right.
not. Yeah.
Fucking- that's 4 things, but that's fine. I mean,
Yep.
it's fine, but it's fucking
It's like speaking. It's like somebody with a English accent. Or it's like somebody that from Iceland that learned how to speak using an Australian accent. That's exactly what Afrikaans is. Like
That's a
that's
funny ass way to fuck yeah. I
because
can
like
see that.
Icelandic
1000%.
has like a lot of the hard and rolling R's at the same time.
Yeah.
And then it's like an Australian taught them how to speak English. It's like fucking all over, man. No way.
That's
No
hysterical.
way. Yeah. Oh, that's like that brings me back to like when I was telling you, or when I was telling yesterday, Alonzo about that Porto Cubana restaurant with the Puerto Rican aunt and the Cuban aunt fucking
Battling
trying
each
to,
other.
and then their poor nephew, who's the son of the owners, they're like, "What the hell is she saying? Well, what the hell is she saying?" And then I asked him, I'm like, "What are they both saying?" And he's like, "They're just yelling at each other about how neither of them know how to speak Spanish right and calling each other bitches." And I was like,
Sounds about right.
they understood that, and they were like, "Is that see? Yeah, that's what she's saying." And he's like, "Yeah, man, you guys are saying the same thing. I'm gonna get this guy his food, and I think we're both gonna go." Like,
That's fucking funny.
Spanish
So,
is
Kat,
fun.
what has been the favorite part of your fucking California adventure so far, dude?
Mm, I don't know.
California sucks.
I'm not that crazy about California, you know? Like, the scenery was amazing.
Yes,
Oh, it's
it
all
looks great, right?
yeah, it looks fantastic.
And then you see the pieces of shit that are out there that are
Yeah.
fucking walking around on the
Have
beautiful
you seen
land.
any weird riot shit going on?
No,
Yeah,
no.
Northern California is no. That's,
No.
I haven't heard any of that from my
No,
friends up there.
stay out of the populated areas. Like I lived out in the fucking foothills outside of Sanger,
Yeah.
which is like kind of eastern Fresno. Kind of high desert, mountainous, rolling hills.
Stoner
kind of
metal area.
Stoner
Yeah.
metal.
That's where stoner metal came. No, literally, that's where all stoner
believe
metal
it.
came from. Is like right there. Like
I
you're
believe it.
you're north of the real desert. You're like at the desert mountains, and like just
Yeah.
south of you is the desert where all stoner metal came from. It's so good.
Fair enough.
So good.
It's so good.
It's
Dude,
so-
you get
it's so
fucking
good.
you get fucking ripped. You listen to this band called Sleep out of Death Valley. Their best album is one song, and it's 58 minutes long, or it's like it's like a minute. It's like an hour and 12 minutes long. I'm sorry. It's like 58 minutes of music, and then like there's a bunch of sound. Dude, like
Okay.
there's this one point in the song where he just hits the same note for like 15 minutes.
No
It's
shit.
fucking terrible. That's why it's so
Yeah.
good.
That sounds like some real music dork shit.
It's just, I mean, it's not even like he's not even like going dun dun dun. It's just like this. It's just no. Even worse. It's just this.
Fucking
It's just-
kill myself.
it's just dun dun. It's that for 15 minutes, and I'm just like, yes, this is the best thing I've ever heard. But she's around that area. There's like a lot of places where, like south of where she's at, that are like just autonomous cities that aren't incorporated, that are like abandoned buses in a circle. Yeah.
I love it. I can't wait for the apocalypse, and California seems like it's on the cutting edge. I feel like. So, while you've been out there, though, in nature, experiencing all that cool shit, you've had this crazy fire shit happen a couple times now. You've experienced it now, right? Like several months ago, there was also a batch, right?
Well,
Was it like
Not
towards when
around.
you first got there? Was it last year? I want to say
yeah,
there was
last
like, yeah.
year. Last year
Yeah.
I came to the tail end of the Paradise Fire, which was the campfire. And I tell you what, that shit is fucking gnarly looking. It looks like well, you know what, like the after effects of a fucking hurricane looks like.
Sure.
It looked like a fucking hurricane of fire wiped through this
Yeah.
fucking town. Like it's
Wow.
fucking crazy. Like the metal roofs and stuff are just like it's like they were just picked up and fucking just balled up and thrown off to the side and shit. like big giant broken fucking trees that are all burning and shit, and just houses completely burnt to the ground, dead animals everywhere, like fucking.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It was like it looked like a fucking atom bomb hit it. It was fucking
Yeah.
But that's like
Some
every year.
apocalyptic shit.
That's
yeah.
like every year. Like I remember growing up there, like the campaign to make people not smoke wasn't to be like, hey, smoking's bad for you. It's like they literally like do somebody flicks a cigarette out the window and then the side of a mountain's on fire. Like that. Those were the.
It's like that.
No, I know. Like you have
So
dude,
fucking nuts.
you have no idea. Like that was the only anti-smoking commercial that I know worked on every kid in growing up in California because like even like like when I would smoke out here, right? Like I would flick a cigarette and I'd be like, "Oh, nope, nope. There's water in the air here. Never mind. Like that's never going to that's never going to happen here. Like everything is wet outside." Like
It's definitely an East Coast thing.
yeah. But like but
you
it,
need
it
80%
but in the
humidity
back of
or
my
more
brain, there's Smokey the Bear just staying like picking up the cigarette butt and putting it out instead of like the mountain being on fire. Like literally, like it's like some asshole driving in a fucking Beamer every year. It was always a Beamer. It was a new commercial, but it would be Smokey watching the Beamer go by and somebody go flick, and then the side of the mountain was on fire. Pick it up, whatever. Yeah. So like that's just burned into my brain every time I see
bet,
somebody
shit.
flicks. I'm like, oh,
Like,
oh, it's rain.
fucker.
Oh, the sun's out, but it's basically more wet than it is when it's raining in California. I get it. No, it's fine here. Yeah, no, it's Florida. We're basically underwater. It's fine. Nothing's gonna. Yeah. Nothing's gonna catch on fire here. It's real hard. Firemen have it easy here. It's like there's a fire. Yeah, but it's wet outside. Like it's not gonna. It's gonna just. Yeah, it's not gonna get far. It's just smoldering.
It's like if
really
the fire
hot.
happened at 3 a.m. instead of putting it out. It's like you just wait 40 minutes. Dew is going to be heavy today.
It might just. It could just rain.
Anybody who's ever fallen asleep in the grass in South Florida knows you just wake up
Wet.
completely. Like, how are my underwear wet? Like, what the everything?
You're soaked. Yep.
Like, ooh.
It's
and
okay.
chilly?
It's okay. The sun will put out the fire. Excuse
Yeah,
me?
but wait, yeah, but
Excuse me? The sun will put the fire out? Yeah, it'll just boil a bunch of water and then the steam will stop it. It's good. In
That's the other
Florida,
thing, you wake up wet
Yeah.
on the grass, but then you just stay outside until 8. By 8:15, you're fucking bone dry and beginning to sweat your balls off.
in California, if you like trip on on two twigs that are on top of each other, you might start a forest fire. Like,
Real shit.
yeah, dude, I lived in like it's more humid in literally like every other state for some reason, and I don't know why, but like I would just get nosebleeds just almost every day growing up in California, just because my mom's like, "Did you drink your 12 cups of water?" I'm like, I drank a gallon of water. How's it? It's just dry. I'm like, my nose is just bleeding. I'm like, I drank a gallon. I'm a kid. I'm like, I drank a gallon of water. Like, my nose is still bleeding. She's like, I don't know. It's just dry here. I'm like, yeah. We lived in Rockland when I went to high school.
Like been out and cracked since I've been here.
Yeah, you will like you feel it when you first get there. Like the first couple weeks, I know, like the back of your throat starts to dry up, like you're sick, but it's just the air you're breathing is 0 humidity, and you're used to breathing at 100% humidity. You go from 100 to 0.
Yeah, the driest place I ever lived was Texas, and it's not even near that. Oof.
No, Texas is humid, even in the desertiest parts. Like, no, that's why Death Valley, bro. Like, the earth is cracked. It's so dry. Death Valley. You can't grow anything without water. Water ain't been there for too long. Yeah, forever, forever.
It was funny because my boyfriend, he's a California native from Fresno County, so it's really fucking dry there most of the time.
Yeah.
And he's a climber as well. When we went home for hurricane season, it was like, babe, are you ready for summer? And he goes, oh yeah, I get like 115, 120 here in the valley. It's gonna be fine. It's not gonna be anywhere close to that. And I'm like, okay, cool. It wasn't even the beginning of summer. It was like June or like maybe even May.
Just
And
drenched, right?
this
Ugh.
little big ass tree and puking out of the fucking tree. And he's like, oh my god, how hot is it outside? It's gotta be 100 degrees outside. And I'm like, babe, it's 83 degrees. It's
Yeah.
not even the dead of summer yet. Wait till it is 105.
Yeah. See, like that's the other thing though. Like if you can get in the shade out in California, you're like good. Like you're literally made in the shade, right?
There's no escape
There's-
in Florida.
That was the
There's
first thing I
no-
did.
The
Yeah, that was
shade is not even your friend.
yeah, that was the first thing I did when it was
This
too
is
hot for me
now
outside here.
sticky in the shade.
Yeah, I went in the shade and I was like, how? It is still like the sun is beating down on me. What the fuck is going on?
The
That was my
funniest
first
shit
time in
as
Florida.
a Floridian
It's like, oh,
is
God.
when you have somebody who's from out of town and you watch them take a shower and try and leave right away.
You're like, no.
That's my favorite shit to see because me, it's like I know you want to be done with your shower 45 minutes before you leave the house. You want it dry. You want all the water to come out of your pores. I sit in the towel for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Just because I'm from Florida. Okay.
I try to
Gotta
get
the
cold.
water off your skin.
Yeah.
Get cool down. Cool it down.
I
When
try
you
to
watch
get,
somebody
like-
come out of a hot shower, throw their clothes on, and go out the door, and he's like,
You're like, well, you'll be back. You'll be
You're
right
gonna
back.
Soaking wet by the time the AC
Yep.
comes on in the car, bitch.
Yep.
Fuck you. That shit's so funny. So, you were there for that last fire last year, the tail end of it, and then you came back for hurricane season. Talk to us about hurricane season this past year.
The hurricane season last year it wasn't really anything to write home about. It was kind of funny though, because I forget what hurricane was coming through, but they were telling us that it was going to be a Category 5 fucking direct hit, blah 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 blah. Everybody's
Yeah.
gonna fucking die type shit. You know, the same shit they do
Every year. Yep.
And then nothing.
And oh fuck, my boss is calling.
The rest of the state's on fire. Oh.
Kat literally just had to go answer a call about potentially having to jump on a fucking fire and
Probably.
take care of it. That's fucking what's up.
That
She
is.
legit having a California adventure, dude. That is
Yes.
one of my favorite homies because she goes for it hard. I love that about her.
Well,
But
I fixed everything quick too. We're all transitioned right. Look at that.
drier than fucking California, huh?
Yeah, man. Dude,
Crazy.
I tell you, it's weird to, like, you forget about all of the things in
Little
California.
nuances and shit.
Yeah, until you talk to somebody that's out there again, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. Until the time I was 14, I had a nosebleed almost every single day, and like I said, man, I was drinking. My mom had to grind it into me, like you gotta drink like 12 big cups of water, and I just
Right.
started drinking a gallon of
Daily.
water. Yeah, and I started
Wow.
drinking a gallon of water, and I was still getting them, and I was like, well, I don't know,
Fuck?
what do I
The
do
fuck?
now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
When you're a kid, that's the worst too, because as a kid, you're like, well, help me, parents. Like,
Yeah,
fucking-
and she's like, I don't know, we'll talk to the doctor when we see him. I'm like, can we see him today? No? All right, fine. I guess my nose just bleeds. That's
Hey!
fine.
We were like, she may be going to a fire right fucking now.
Yes.
No, thankfully not. No, I don't have to go till tomorrow. that's what I was afraid of. I was like, fuck.
So where you left off was the hype about the hurricane that was coming as you were on your way to Florida.
Oh yeah. So he is like fucking panicking. Like, we bought a fifth wheel before we went down there because, we figured that we'd be bouncing back and forth between fire season and hurricane season and shit. And, fucking, we were parked on my aunt and uncle's property out in Fort Drum. And he's like, oh my god, he's like, what the fuck are we gonna do? And I'm like, it's gonna be fine. And he's like, it's a Category 5! They're saying
Oh, no.
And I'm like, dude, it's fine. We're gonna go buy some alcohol. We're gonna go get some snacks and some canned food, and and like maybe a case of water, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be fine. And he's like, "What the fuck? You fucking Floridians are fucking insane." And I'm like, "No, we're just no
Every
fucking
Floridian's like, hey, just make sure you have charcoal. You're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. You get to cook everything in your freezer. If the power goes out, it's gonna be
Yeah.
fine.
You get to have a party.
Yeah,
yeah." I'm like, all we're gonna
make
do
the
is
best.
I'm like, after it's over, we're gonna go to my parents' house. All the neighbors are gonna empty their freezers. We're gonna have a block party and sweat our asses off. It's gonna be great. Then we're gonna walk down the street with chainsaws and make a fuck ton of money. And the bitch just skirted right around us. He was fucking all
Yeah.
panicking. He's like, "We need to leave. We need to go to Georgia or something." I'm like,
And that's where it hit. Yeah, that's where it hit too, right?
By the time it hit Georgia, I believe it was like
a
rain.
1. It was a 1.
Yeah.
Everybody in Georgia freaked out. Georgia's amazing to me because the weather's so mild here that whenever there's a weather event, everybody's like, "It's the end of the world, man! We gotta get all the fucking everything." And everybody, so like, if it's like, "Oh, it's gonna snow,"
Yeah.
everybody freaks out. If it's gonna fucking be a bad rainstorm, everybody freaks out. People fucking stop in rain. In Florida, the sky opens up and drops an ocean on you.
Yeah.
And people are banging it at like 90 miles an hour on I-95. Okay, if you're
That's
south,
the speed because the cops aren't coming after you.
Yeah.
if you're
true.
south of if you're south of West Palm Beach, if you're like in deep Broward or below in Dade County, if you try and stop, you'll get murdered. Fucking, are you kidding? If you go below 80 miles an hour in the leftmost lane in Miami, that's a cause for a shooting, and the cops won't even stop them.
Nope.
They'll just let them.
They'll be like,
let
I
it go.
agree. You did the right thing, citizen. I deputize
Like,
you.
This guy was bullshit. Bullshit of slowness.
One thing I do find fucking hilarious is the first time that I drove through San Francisco traffic.
Ugh.
And it's very similar to Miami,
Yeah.
but not quite as bad. And these motherfuckers are acting like they're not going to let me in. And I'm like, bitch, I have whipped a bucket truck with a fucking chipper on the back of it
Yeah.
in Miami.
I'm
You're gonna let me
coming
over,
in.
or we're gonna stop.
Yeah. That is the
See,
good
that's
thing.
a Florida mentality. Like,
Yeah.
when you know how to weaponize your vehicle. You know how to utilize your fucking car like the head of a spear. That's some fucking Florida
Yeah.
shit. Where it's like, oh, no, I want to get in, so I'll just jump my front end because I don't give a fuck about living. I'm from Florida.
Let
I
me
don't
in and
care.
guy.
I didn't expect to make it this far. I'm a statistical anomaly. I'm from southern Florida.
Yeah.
I passed through adolescence alive. I'm from southern Florida. That's crazy talk. But that's the
That's
fucking
true, yeah.
truth, man. That's the truth all the way through.
Yo, but it's you know, like what like some like DMV study showed that like the worst drivers and the best drivers are from South Florida,
All
But
about
the-
extremes.
but the best drivers, yeah, the ones that are good drivers are only as good as they are because the bad drivers here are so bad.
Yeah.
Like we have the worst bad drivers, and you have to be, yeah, you have to be like a really fucking excellent driver with like a ton of like
You
spider
have
sense. Like so you have to have
retirees from
spider
the
sense.
Northeast in huge
Mhm.
number, and they're terrifying behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have people from the Caribbean in huge number, and they are terrifying behind the
Mhm.
wheel. Then add a gang of Canadian tourists for half the year, terrifying behind the wheel.
And
It's
the
a death trap. And, it's
and the
fucking
new
big time.
population of drug addict transplants that were left here by their family that are probably on heroin while they're
There's a
behind the wheel.
lot of those.
Like it just to survive those people, you have to be fucking on your game all the time. That's all.
There's a lot of those, and they're mostly from like Philadelphia and Pennsylvania.
Actually, they're from like where Doug's from. They're all from Jersey right now. Jersey
Oh.
is the number one
I mean,
offender.
Pennsylvania is like
Yeah.
next door to Jersey.
Yeah, the tri-state area is where they're 99% of them are from, and they all hate each other because they're
Like
not from the
trash
right.
in Wilkes-Barre.
Dude, like, and you know the funny thing is, like, I'll make a rant on Facebook about how I'm like, stop dropping your trash off here. Like, don't complain about Florida if you're from the Northeast. If you've sent any of your relatives here for rehab and
You're
said,
dropping your
yeah,
trash. out
and
there.
then
I love
and
it.
then said to them, oh no, you can't come stay on my couch now that you're sober. Like, you all left them here, and you're the reason why you think Florida is so terrible. You know,
Right.
so like don't be like, why is
So
this
eat the
trash can?
sandwich of
Yeah,
dicks.
why is this trash can smell like trash? It's like because you fucking put trash there, you fucking idiot. Like, don't try to
Because you
eat off.
fucking put
Don't,
trash
yeah,
there.
don't fucking try to eat out of the trash. You're fucking retarded. Like, when this wasn't supposed to be a trash can, like, but you fucking tried to dump all your shit here.
That's
Like,
like that's actually talking about San Francisco is what it sounds like. Where it's like it was such a nice place at one point
oh,
in time, and now it's like there's poop
dude,
everywhere.
Bro,
the
I've never
Poop.
seen so much garbage on the side of the fucking roads and dumped in random places in my head.
That's sad.
Yeah.
dude, the
That's
San.
sad.
Oh man.
I was there 6 years ago. I was there. Right, like I think we conceived my kid there. I'm pretty sure the Gourmet Food and Wine Festival was where it happened. But fucking not at the thing, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, fucking but it was really cool city. But there was a lot of homeless. There was like a lot of homeless, but it wasn't like where it's like DEFCON poop, like supposedly it is now, where there's literally turds on the streets everywhere. But
They
like
have apps, so you
Yeah.
can avoid the.
we've talked about this
Yes.
before, yes.
Yep. There's
Yes.
apps.
There's like a whole industry propped up around
Mhm.
hobo poop. Like that's crazy.
The San Francisco of like when I was a kid growing up in Northern California is
Where it's like
unfortunately
romantic and the pier
Yeah.
and the fucking
unfortunately
and
is
the fucking cool
gone.
Chinatown and the stinking
Well,
rose.
Chinatown
Yeah.
was not changed the last time I was there because I mean they're stabbing each other in the alleyways over mahjong. So like
Like,
you
that's
think
how
they're
it
gonna
goes,
let
yeah.
you think they're gonna let
That's like
homeless
Cubans
people move in
macheting each other
there?
over dominoes. I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, man, you think they're gonna let homeless people move into like Little Havana? You think they're gonna let
That's-
homeless
Asian
people
community
move
does not
into
have
to
a lot of
Chinatown?
homeless.
Yeah,
Asian
that's the thing.
American communities do not have a lot of homeless. They don't fuck with that shit.
That's
They don't
the
really
thing.
let that shit slide.
I've seen one homeless person, like, one homeless Asian person, like on the internet at all, and like black people were beating the shit out of him. It was real weird. And they were making fun of him. I was like, you don't do that. Like, not don't do that because like it's the wrong thing to do. Obviously, don't do that. But like, don't don't film yourself being racist towards
And
an
beating someone.
no, an Asian person because like Asian people will be like, "Oh, is that what we're doing now? We are doing that now? Okay. Okay. Let's go get black
Asian,
people."
yeah.
Yeah.
Asian people will be game.
That's what I'm saying. They're like, "Oh, we can do that now. That's a thing." All right.
You get a
So
bunch of guys from China
go
pulling
get-
out that wobbly sword, that sword
Right?
with a wobbly metal blade. That
Yeah.
fucking,
they'd just be like,
with
"Okay,
the
we are
tassel on the end.
we are going to South Central right now. Everybody in the van."
Oh my god.
In the van with the Korean writing on the side. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You have slanty eyes. You get
Guys
into the
gotta
van.
walk-
We are
gotta
going.
walk for body
Yeah,
armor.
right. And that you can't tell me that would be the most confusing shit to happen to like the hood. Like 12 Korean church buses just roll into the middle of the hood, and everybody gets out with swords and armors. Like even like the gangsters are like,
Wait, what the fuck?
I'm not 100% sure what's happening, but I think we all need to run. Like,
Hey man, enough people have seen anime. I don't think too many people
Yeah.
get down to fuck with that. They go,
no, they'd be like, it's happening, y'all. Oh no. I told you not to put that video on the internet. That's
Oh,
this is your
shit.
fault. I told you. They're right there. They're right there.
oh,
Get them.
shit.
Like,
Uh,
man, that's what I'm saying. The only time I've seen homeless person on the internet, and it was a bunch of black people making fun of him and beating him up.
yeah.
That's how you get Asians to, dude. That's how you get Asians on the
Whatever
roof.
race somebody is, anybody who would do that is a piece of shit. It
Yeah,
already
no,
sucks to be a
that's
bum.
what I-
When I was a kid,
that's what I was
pretty shit to
saying.
bums, too. I
But
can't
that's
lie,
what
when
I
was
was
a kid,
saying,
an
yeah.
asshole.
That's what I was saying. Like, don't do it. Just because it's a shitty thing to do. But like,
Yeah.
man, if you see he's an Asian, like, fucking the
Is
soul
it,
of
is it
gang.
extra worse because he's an Asian? Is
No,
that
no,
what-
no, because Asian people are all bad. We are all bad because Asian people, and this is how you know, Asian
Oh,
people,
fuck.
we're all this person, right? This is all we are. That really polite guy that's doesn't tell anybody, but he's waiting for an excuse to be the true terrible piece of shit they are on the inside. but they're really polite and professional all the time.
Are you
And
talking
then
about yourself?
no,
What
I'm
are we
talking about
talking
every. I'm talking about every Asian, like
Where it's like
every.
they're
I'm
buttoned up.
Asian. Yeah,
They're buttoned up until they get the fucking execute order
and that
66.
yeah,
And then it's fucking
exactly.
on. Like,
And the
fucking,
execute
like,
order is like, oh,
oh,
this
black
one.
people are attacking us.
Yeah.
Like, is that all?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Whoa,
matter.
erase the war, guys. Erase the war.
Dude, I've only ever heard and believed
I will
Asian
say this.
people
I will say
say
this.
talk about a race war. Like
I
when
will
crazy
say
white
this.
conspiracy
Well,
theorists
Asians
talk
have done
about it.
to each other.
Yes.
Japan was like,
Yes,
hey,
they have.
guys, let's go to China
And kill all of
fucking
them.
Take it.
Yeah.
Let's just take as much of China as we can before they say anything about it. Like, yeah, that
And China
happens,
has
so
been
we
like,
can't argue.
hey, they tried to kill all of us, so let's try to kill all of them. And Vietnamese are like, Laos is looking pretty bountiful. Like, like Cambodia is just like, dude, killing fields of Cambodia. Like, that's why when I hear like crazy white conspiracy theorists go like race war's coming, I'm like, between white people and black people, no. But as soon as they're like, oh, I heard the Asians, I'm like, excuse me? Okay, well,
Yeah.
I mean, that might be some shit right there. We need to, we might need to keep them in check a little bit
Well,
more
that was
because
what happened to the Armenians wasn't that long ago. Armenians got fucking almost genocided by the Turks like
dude,
a couple generations ago. Like maybe
no,
was
what
it a generation?
a generation ago.
Yeah.
There's
Fuck,
still
bro.
people alive
We don't
that
talk about that shit.
dude, the
That's
guys
why Armenians
System
are
of a
tough as
Down.
shit.
System of a Down. They literally left the year before,
If
like
a
when they were in
dude
high school.
with an Indian in the end of his name and a fucking ear that looks like this is talking shit to you, just let him fuck it, let it go.
Dude, the drummer of
that
System of a Down looks like he's murdered people to like be alive.
Bro, they're tough cats, bro.
Yeah.
Because they have to be. They had to. They had to be.
Yeah.
To just be alive. Yeah, their line had to be. That's some
Yeah.
sturdy fucks.
They were like
Yeah, if there's
preteens
somebody
when they
with
left.
an Indian or an Aspian in
Yeah.
their name and they're talking shit to you and they got a curled up ear, looks like a fucking tortellini shell.
Yeah.
Don't even fuck with it.
Right?
Don't even fuck with it. That dude knows.
That's what I'm
judo,
saying.
He's gonna throw you on your head on
So,
the sidewalk.
This
It's
is also why I'm like Asians will be the one to start the race war. Rodney King shooting or Rodney King beating the riots, right? You know what happened? Like every Asian-owned establishment, there was a fucking like Asian sniper on the roof.
Korean rooftops.
Yeah, dude.
And
And they were offensively defending their stores, not like defensively. They were like, "Cool, it's an excuse to shoot black people. Here we go. All right, I'm up on the roof." I'm like, "Yeah, that's just Asians, man. Like, I'm not. I wish that wasn't the case with Asians, but dude, like, I've grown up around them all my life. That's just that it's an excuse to be like." To execute their bias, that's what it is. That's what I'm saying. Like black people and white people beating each other up on the internet all day, but that's what I'm saying. Don't show a video of any race beating up an Asian because they'll be like
get interesting.
They're like, cool, all right, you won't even hear us coming. We shoot all of you. There's more of us. Shh, like it's done. Doesn't matter, man.
That's what I think we've talked about a bunch of times too, where there's like that cultural thing people don't understand, where it's like, hey, let's like fucking, let's like everybody be together. It's like, yeah, everybody's different. Not everybody's gonna get along. Like that's not, and it's not like a race issue because there's people from every group that's gonna get along. There's people,
yeah.
But there's cross sections that are rough everywhere. It's a rough world. Hey, you talk about Asians. Some gangster shit. People don't realize, like, kids who grew up in the Caribbean. I'm a Yankee to my own family. The ones that came from Cuba had it a lot fucking harder than my fucking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of feel like
Miami ass.
I feel like that's another reason we get along because of like our upbringing. Like I feel like those are two unique cultures that, like Asian and Caribbean, that are like very similar when you're in America.
Harder than kids. I think that's why me and Kat get along too, where like your parents love you, but they're also like, yeah, also change your own fucking tire, dick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where it's like, oh no, I love those. You got a plate. I put foil over it so it stays warm, but I'm not helping you with that shit that you're doing out there. Like, you do it, you go figure it out, and the plate is here. Like, you need a ride? You got a lot of friends, right? All right.
What? No, I just mean like I don't know.
Put the mental legs to work.
Yeah, they want you to fucking become self-sufficient at a younger age, I think, than in a blue collar culture. That's what I'm learning too. the race is less. It's more about like the socioeconomic demographic. If you come from a family where everybody has to fucking work, you gotta work too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's a big factor too. Like when like you talk about Mike, like a big shift for your like perspective was when you had to kind of earn everything yourself at a certain point in your young adulthood, where you were like, oh fuck, I had a lot and now I don't, and it sucks to be like, you know, crawling back up, but I got to do it myself. Like that shit I think is what makes you and me get along more, because you have like a really deep like perspective that takes you from both. You know what I mean? Like
I literally went from like
points.
Dude, Kat, do you know where Rockland is?
No.
It's like it's north of Roseville, which is north of Sacramento.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, kind of near El Dorado, kind of.
Near Elk Grove?
Near El Dorado?
No, it's literally touching northern Sacramento, like basically. It's
okay.
So it's like Jupiter. It's basically Jupiter to West Palm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I grew up, like in a richer version of Jupiter. So like I didn't like I didn't have to like do anything ever. Like there's 2 Olympics, like at the high school that I started at, there's fucking like I looked at it now, there's like 15 baseball fields there. There's 2 Olympic sized swimming pools, and there's 2 football stadiums that are like full sized on the high school that I went to, right? Like they didn't fuck around. There's an underground swimming pool. There's like 2 full music studios for the band practice. Like it's crazy, right? Like that's where I went. That's where I grew up. And then like, then just like no more. And it's like no, now you gotta work for dollars an hour. And I was like,
well, that's the thing I think
no.
I like about you too, Mike. Where I know a lot of people who, had some affluence growing up, but they downplay it, or they still act like, I still had all this struggle. You actually like are really open about like, no, shit was really easy for a certain point.
Because I know how it is now.
Yeah. But you're honest about it. That's, I think, the thing. You're so straight up about it, where so many people are like, no, we had our own struggles with it, and it's like, okay, like it's.
That's why I like Doug, because remember you brought that up. You're like, is the struggle of like rich kid depression the same versus like having growing up with hardships? And literally at the same time, Doug and I were like, no. There is no comparison to your real struggle and us being sad when we were teenagers. Like, no, that's
because like we were talking
nothing.
about like different stuff of like, a girl broke my heart kind of shit. And I was likening it to like, oh, maybe for that kid it's the same as like, I lost parents early or whatever, and they both were just like, no. Like, I remember
there's no
like,
comparison.
And you talk about your but I always wonder too though. It's all like a reference point, right? Like I couldn't do my homework. I every day had to have excuses to like for my teachers for not doing my homework, and I could have, I guess, but I was tired because every day after school I'd come home and we would all go to an office building and clean. That was like my parents' like second job. So we would go every night, the whole squad. Tom, my best buddy from our show on this channel, Tom Eats It, who Kat knows very. Kat was there that night of the legendary eggnog chugging. That tradition began that night. Fucking yes, that's a very special night. But
no. So you're saying you couldn't do homework because you're too tired because you were working for your family.
Yeah, but it was one of those things too where it was like,
I didn't do homework either, but I would be like, I didn't feel like doing it to the teacher, and they're like, well, that's okay, like because the library's got your last name on it or whatever. Like, that's okay. Like you can do it later, and I'm like, thank you. Like every kid had like at one of the schools that I went to had like some part of the fucking school named after him, and like literally. The teachers would be like, "Oh, that's okay," like, "We'll all do it together," like in the class, like the next day,
right?
Or like I just wouldn't do it, and I'd be like, "Fuck you, I don't want to do it," and they're like, "Well, that's rude," like then they wouldn't, but like nothing happened. Like you go into like affluent schools, I was like, "Fuck you, you want me to fucking do homework? I don't need to fucking do that shit," and they're like, "You're 13, oh my god, like, how could you talk to me?" Like the teachers, dude, that was like. How could you talk to me like that? And now I'm like, fucking hit that kid. Fucking hit that kid. You know,
Not that motherfucker.
dude,
I'm
fucking
pretty sure some of my teachers would have thrown hands with me.
right. That's what I'm
Well, Kat,
saying.
like I know your
It's like,
parents, man. Your parents are like some do-it-yourself people. Like your dad seems like the type of dude who like will hand you the tool to fix the thing. You know what I mean? Like, and let you figure it the fuck out. Yeah.
He might even point you in the right direction on
Right.
how
He
to
might
do
even be
it.
like, I'd start there, and then fucking let you figure it out.
You're gonna make it harder on yourself if you start there.
Right.
my dad would try to do that, and then he'd be like, or I'll get high and I'll pay somebody to do it. And I'm like, okay, that sounds great. I love drugs too. And he's like, what? I'm like, you're too high to understand what I said. All right, bye. Like,
I'm trying not to be that parent with my kid because I have that tendency to be like, fuck this. But
listen, no, like you. So no, here's. So my stepdad was trying to like instill that like do-it-yourself attitude, but I'd be like, fuck you, you're not my dad. Like, I'm gonna go listen to fucking Radiohead and cry in my room. Wham, I'm stoned. Like, wah, you know. You can't tell me what to do. You're in the second basement and I'm in the fourth floor. I'm really far away from you. Like, fuck you.
Second basement.
Yeah. That was hard to sneak into because it had an extra low drain window. Anyway, humble brag. But here's the fucked up part. So I wasn't
Yeah,
like
sneaking into my townhouse
Yeah.
wasn't that hard because you could pop the sliding glass
Yeah.
door up. The only issue was I had my brother and two stepbrothers in my bedroom too. So you pop the sliding glass door, and if you woke one of them up and they like
Uh-oh.
pop their head up and see you sneaking in, it would depend on like, did you have a beef going on? Was there a vendetta? Was there vengeance that needed to be had? Because there were definitely times where like one of my stepbrothers would be fucking sneaking in, and I'd be like, $20 right now, or I'd be like, excuse me, I have to go speak to your father. Like fucking, like those moments as a kid, I think like they change you, or like you ever have that moment when you're a kid and it's like, all right, I'm definitely gonna be late for curfew. If I leave now, it's still gonna be an hour, so I'm gonna be fucked anyway. I'll just stay out. Fuck
Yeah.
it. And then it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. You're like, fuck, I know they're getting ready for work. Like,
Yep.
Dude,
the
but
only
I'm committed.
the only struggle I had with like sneaking back in was there were so many stairs to get to my room because like I could either scale the side of this house, which was like I was too drunk to do, or I could just go into the one basement and then like go upstairs and then upstairs and then upstairs and then upstairs and hope that like nobody heard like I didn't like I figured out which stairs squeaked and then like how to like straddle the outside of the stairs and like drunk crawl up the stairs and then like on the ground
Like
spread my
polar bear crawling
yeah
up the
like
fucking stairs.
Spider-Man like spread myself across the floor
Dude.
so I didn't make any of the boards but it was such a long way to the top. It
Sounds
was
like a video
so
game
long.
level to get through
Dude,
that shit.
Literally like
There's a monkey
yeah,
bathroom barreling at you.
dude, I felt like it at one point, and the suck because like then like the longest stairs were like would like go right to my room, and I was like, all right, I made it up the little levels, but then yeah, like the big levels, like there's so many, god damn stairs, and then like if I made any sound, I would just stop. Like I made a squeak and I know somebody heard it. Oh no. But like like I would tell my mom and she's like, we never heard anything. And I'm like, I fell down the stairs one time. She's like, no. Like she's like, no, we didn't hear anything ever.
I lived in a
I'm like,
standard
okay.
South Florida quad townhouse, right, with your like 3 sliding glass doors on the bottom floor
Yeah.
and 2 on the top floor. And I was like between 14 and 16 just sneaking out or just staying out or whatever every fucking night. My parents were losing their shit with me. We'd get home from cleaning and I would fucking go take a shower and fucking be out. I'd go to either like Rocky Horror Picture Show or just go I'd fucking hang out at Walgreens. Like me and my like Tommy Donuts, me and my friends would just be out in the night.
Nice.
Just fucking off. And
Oh,
fucking
If you went to the
got to
Rocky
the
Horror
point-
Picture Show, then you probably ran into
Yeah,
Gene.
Carefree Theater.
You probably ran into
Yeah,
Gene
maybe,
and all them
maybe.
back in the day.
Remember the Carefree
Fucking,
Theater?
yeah, Carefree
were-
Theater.
They were the
Fucking-
ones selling ecstasy to everybody.
I mean, I
And
might have
Gene
known
looked
some
like
of those
Gene.
people.
Selling ecstasy to everybody.
I
That's how
might have known
I
some of
didn't
those
grow up here. I
people,
didn't grow up here. That's what they told
but
me. They're like, everybody was getting their ecstasy from us, and I was like, okay.
it got to the point where I was sneaking in so often that my folks would be sleeping on the couch on a regular basis to try and bust my ass sneaking
Oh
in.
shit.
And it was like you walk in the front door and you're right there. So I would just not use my key, and I would jimmy the sliding glass door, pop it open, and it would be a lot more quiet.
Yeah.
I would keep a fucking can of WD-40 hidden outside, and I'd light the track up with some WD-40 before I
Nice.
popped that bitch. My grandfather taught me well. And so eventually got to the point with my folks where my mother and my stepfather would be asleep on the couch trying to bust me, and I would get in. If I could get in my bed, like if
You're
they woke
free.
up and I was in my bed, it was like, well, fuck, we didn't get him. It is what it is. Like they couldn't. There was no evidence against me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember, like that was a real pivot point with me where it was like, oh, okay, it's not about what you do, it's about what you get away with. This
Yeah.
is my life now. I'm getting away with everything. But
yeah, like you were. That's maybe something that like that kind of like crosses all like barriers of
oh yeah,
yeah
oh yeah. Crawling
yeah
over your little brother to sneak out of
yeah
your fucking room or back into your fucking room.
yeah.
Dude,
That's like a
I
common
remember
struggle, I guess.
I was sleeping over at Tom's house one night with another friend of ours named Elliot. We were like play video games together, play like fucking magic cards and shit. And Tom threw us out of his bedroom. I'm pretty sure to spank one out. And he was like, "You can go sleep in my sister's room. My mom kicked her out like a month ago, so there's nobody in there." And fucking, we're in there like fucking. And it was a big bed, so we were gonna go like old school, head to foot, ass to ass. And we're laying in the bed, and all of a sudden, a foot just goes on my face. And this bitch was crawling in. She had been sneaking back into her house every night to sneak sleep.
Nice.
Just fucking knock out in there. Fucking. So yeah, that's so common in
Yeah.
childhood where you just sneak. I remember one time we were at Tom's house and we weren't supposed to be, so we're trying to sneak out the fucking window, and he had like one of those like two jalousies where it was like just two,
Yeah.
and Elliot was like a 120-pound kid. He just like slid right through that bitch. But this was like the end of junior high, beginning of high school, so I was already like a 200 bill fucking kid, and I tried to get through there, and I'm just like, and I had to like wiggle and like straighten both my arms out. And like, my shirt, I had to like take my shirt off through the process, like fucking. Those kind of moments through your childhood, I think, like you said, those are like bonding.
Yeah.
Because everybody's had. I remember one time our good friend Ekaterina, Eva's like closest friend, oldest friend. I've known her since like really.
Brown cat?
Yeah, brown cat, beige cat. Yeah, fucking. This is beige cat, but brown cat goes way back too. We were kids, and she was, mid-teens, and she would sneak out of her house, and there was an apartment complex behind her house, and her bedroom was on the second floor, and it went to like it was like it looked like it was a carport that got turned into part of the house, and her bedroom went right over the roof of the carport, so she'd sneak out the roof of the carport and like drop down and run, hop her fence, and come out to wherever car we were in. And one night we see her open her window and then start to crawl out, and like a horror movie, the light comes on like behind her. She's all of a sudden illuminated in a halo of the light of the window, and her mom just comes and grabs her like Darth Vader, and the window shuts.
Oh,
and we're
no.
like, she's gone. Go, go, go. She's gone. That's it. It's over for her. Yeah.
The only time I
Those
got caught,
moments.
yeah, the only time I got caught was when, like, they were all awake for some reason for so long, like my family, the one night, and I was like, fuck, I wait till they go to sleep and I just walk out the door usually, right? And I don't know why they were awake for so long, but I just was like, all right, fuck it, I got to get out somehow. So I decided to like try and drop from my window, just like 20 feet, and I was like, if I push off, I can land in the yard, and we had like real expensive grass or something that was really soft, right? And I thought that would like save me. So I'm just hanging outside of my window for a while, like trying to work up the courage to push off the house. and then I just say fuck it, I get back up, right? And then I remember like my parents' window had like that like it was over, and then there was like another awning under it, and then there was the garage awning under it, and then there were like the steps that I could just hop down to. And I was like, okay, whatever. They don't know. I turn off my light. I put all the stuff in my bed so it looks like it's me, and then I go out the window and I hop down the awnings and I go down the stairs and I go to the back, like walkway to the park that's behind our house, and I literally am waiting for my friends to roll around to pick me up. And I can see my back bedroom window from there, and then I just see the lights turn on, and I'm like, fuck. That was it. And then I was like, whatever. And then I fucking just went back, and then I went back up through my
The
parents'
stair maze.
yeah, no, yeah, the roof maze to go back in through the window of my parents, my stepdad and my mom's bathroom. And literally, like, I go in there, and my stepdad's just on the toilet, and he's like, "What the hell?" Because I'm like dressed to go out, and I'm like, "I gotta go. I made a mistake," and I just walk right into my room. They were like, "We would be really mad at you if that wasn't hilarious. That like you just
Dude,
came
those
in
kind
through
of
the
fuck ups.
windows, yeah,
That's
while
another
your
humbling
stepdad was
moment.
taking a shit," and I was just like, "Oh god."
Those are. I remember my dad bought this big old house in Miami Springs, which is like the Cuban Riviera. Anybody who
Nice.
had money, or not real money, but like Cuban money,
Yeah.
like, who got
Look
out
at
of
my
Hialeah,
house. Yeah.
jumped across the canal to Miami Springs, and fucking, we were in this fucking big house. It was like a big, I don't know what they call it, where it's like a circle. Everything kind of goes in a circle. The
A
whole house,
cul-de-sac?
almost every
Oh,
room.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Every room kind of goes into another, like the bedrooms each go into a bathroom, and two bedrooms share a bathroom in the middle, and it goes, you know what I mean, like that kind of shit. Big house. Yeah. And there was a hill in the backyard and a pool on the hill, not like an in-ground pool. It was South Florida, so it was a man-made hill, I'm sure. And fucking, I'm sneaking out of my dad's house for the first time. I'm like 14, 15, and I'm not at my dad's often at that point in my life. So it was one weekend where I was over there, and some of my older cousins were like, "We'll take you out, sneak out, we'll come get you." So I go, and the little fence at the back of the pool is like 3 feet high, you know, and I'm on the hill. I don't realize like it's a man-made hill. I think it's like a hill. I hop over the fence. It's a straight drop down into the alley, like fucking 10, 15 feet. I fucking ate shit hard as fuck. Like, I was like, you know when you land and you can't make words for like a good solid minute? I was like, and my cousins fucking left me, bro. They were like, "Oh shit, he's fucked up," and they fucking got the fuck out of there. So I had to drag my ass back to the front of my dad's house and like, ding dong, fucking ring the doorbell. And he was like, "What the fuck happened to you?" Like, he's in underwear and shit because it's like fucking 11:30 at night. And he's just like got a bowl of ice cream and shit. He's like, "What the fuck happened?" And I was like, I was sitting on the wall back behind the pool and I fell. And he's like, "Holy shit!" I covered good. I had a good good bullshit. I was like, it was just cool. I was looking at the pool and I just leaned back and I fell. And he was like, "Oh my god!" And I got to stay up late and hang out and shit that night with him too. That was cool. But
nice.
Fucking, my shit was rocked for like a day. I was shaking. Like, I got concussed. Fucking, yeah.
Kat, Gene says hi.
Gene?
Like, yeah, you know Gene? Dreadhead Gene, our favorite Gene?
He's
of course.
He's one of our...
Did you contact him about next week, Novoloso?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, cool. He's coming on next week.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
He's our most faithful viewer.
Wait, are we live right now? Are people watching how much of a weirdo I am live?
Oh yeah,
yes. All two of them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We've got 60 subscribers on YouTube. Hopefully we'll get to 100 soon.
They're like, people watch.
Share.
Yeah, we talk for a while. People watch our stuff afterwards a lot. Yeah.
Which is cool with me.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
I would do this if it was just like a call that we were on anyway. So I think that's the appeal.
That is the appeal. I think of the few people that watch us. That's the other thing too. Like, you guys should I see these two people like chatting with us and watching like every time. You guys should share this shit too, man. Like, share all of our fun videos because they're and
more are coming.
and get people to subscribe to Patreon because I make $4 a month doing this gig, and
Grrr.
it's a whole bunch of money.
Yeah. So far, I've made also that same $4 a month.
Yeah.
With
That's the thing.
both
Yeah.
amassed a fortune.
Yes. I think Casey has done 2 months, so yes, we've both made $4.
Ow!
Woo!
Reese's Pieces all around,
Yeah.
baby.
I think there's deals on the McDonald's app that I can get with that $4. Let me check. Buy one get one free French fries.
But does it cancel out if you have it Postmates to your house? Because then it costs you like $9.
Yes, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's. There's like a $6 delivery deal that's like a pretty big meal, but then you got to pay, like you said, $4 more. So it's a $10 meal.
To move from the riveting content that is our $4 worth of Patreon, Kat, you were talking earlier about how intense the experience was of seeing these fires as they're like happening now and what you've been dealing with. Like, what is like the main thing that you're doing right now in your work?
Right now I'm just doing safety observations on the tree crews, making sure the guys don't fucking kill themselves and get to go home to their families at night, If I catch them doing some dumb shit, I call them on it,
What are the majority of those guys doing right now? Are they clearing like old burns, like stuff like that? Is that what the job is? Or
out in the fire zones, a lot of them are removing trees for access, so service trucks can get in and put up utilities and stuff like that.
Right. Wow. That's wild shit, man. And so how close to you now, like where you're staying, are you to the fires?
That's a good question because I haven't really checked up on it in a while. I know there was some reignition of some hot spots and stuff like that the other day, and we got like a big notification on our phones and shit saying, "Get out now! Oh my god, fucking fire's coming!"
Yeah.
And then I freaked out and I was like, because I'm a fucking drama queen.
Well, it's like your dude's reaction to Florida, right? Sure, he was like,
to hurricanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up, and it turns out I wasn't even in the evacuation zone. I was just close enough to where they sent it to me.
Right.
But yeah, so.
It's crazy there. Like the temperatures are similar to here, but there's no moisture in the air, so everything is kindling.
Yeah, everything's made of dust and twig.
And dude, like the grass, when the grass dries up after all the green goes away, it like turns to powder.
Yeah.
After a while, fucking disintegrate.
Mm-hmm.
That's how dry it is, huh?
Yeah.
God damn.
Dude,
That's wild.
And I'm sure it's worse now because at least when I was growing up, there wasn't like a water conservation, like you can't water your lawn certain days or whatever.
Right.
Now I know that, like my grandma doesn't care. She's like those people when they were trying to do this, like when they tried to do this in Palm Beach County, the people in like Jupiter and on the island that are like, my roses need water. I'm gonna water whenever the fuck I want. Yeah, it's funny because like I look at my like pictures of my grandmother's garden. It's always green, and I'm like, yeah, but like there's Lodi was on fire like a couple years ago, and you're on the edge of Lodi and Stockton. Just like, but my garden needs to be green. And I'm like, yeah, I understand. I got you. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
But yeah, like it's just so weird. It's such a nice place, but it catches on fire all the time, and I mean all the good people are moving away, which is kind of nice. Hopefully they'll see that like the only people left there are like shitheads, I guess. I don't know.
Fucking, I told my boyfriend because he's like, I'd really like to live in the mountains. I was like, good, we can buy a fucking house in the East Coast mountains.
Yeah.
We're fucking going up in fucking flames every
Yeah,
year.
man. Or just anywhere else, like Rocky
There's
Mountains
some
are
pretty
fine.
cool mountains right around where I live, and there's not a lot of horrible nature shit that happens here.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the major draws of Georgia, bro. The worst thing is there's a snowstorm and everybody's like, oh my god, we had to leave our car on the highway. Like, that's the worst shit out here. Like, otherwise...
Leave your car on the highway?
Because they don't
Really?
have 4-wheel drive and they don't know how to drive in shitty conditions. Because the weather's so
Dude,
fucking mild.
Colorado
I've been on
is
the
the
highway.
Florida of snow drivers.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can
Well,
I
I've
can
been on the
say that.
highway.
Yeah.
I've been on the highway, and it's been like a bad rainstorm here, and everybody, like the whole highway pulls over. You feel like you're the president when you're from Florida because you
Like,
just keep
huh.
fucking driving, and everybody's got their hazards on, and they're all pulled over.
That's
Which
crazy.
in Florida, it's like a cardinal sin. Put your hazards on the range. You're a
Yeah.
jackass. You just put your normal lights on like a
Yeah.
fucking American.
And it
You don't
literally
have a
says
blinker on.
all over the highway, flashers off, lights on. It's
Yeah,
the law.
lights on.
It's
like,
the
Jesus
law.
Christ. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cops aren't going to stop you in the fucking downpour.
No,
They're
yeah,
like,
no,
"Fuck
but-
that. Go
but
ahead,
that's-
die. I don't care."
But that's how they try to get people to listen.
Yeah.
They're like, it's the law, no
that's-
flashers.
That's what I love about an area like where I am now. It's so mild that any weather they just like panic, and you could just like the first big snow that we had out here. Everybody was hunkered down, and once it stopped snowing, it's just snow everywhere, and we were like, "What? Let's go out." And we're from fucking Florida. When the hurricane stops, you go out and see what the fuck happens.
Yeah.
And we went out in the snow, and there was a couple of restaurants open, and we would go in the restaurant, and everybody's in the restaurant. It was like you were a fraternity. It was like, you're another one who isn't fucking soft like baby shit. Get in here, have a hamburger. Fucking like, the vibe was so cool, and like that's what I liked. That's what, and in general, the South, the vibe out here is like super friendly. Like at first, being from Florida, it's like weirdly friendly, where you're like, what are you trying to steal from me?
See, that's why I think like why I've lived all over, and the places that I've loved to live the most were like Colorado, Texas, and here. Right? I didn't live in Texas for too long. Like I lived in New York and Texas the same amount of time in the same month. But no, like people in Colorado when it snows, like they're like, no, yeah, but we still have to go to work. We still have to go do things, you know? Like same in Florida, it's like, yeah, a hurricane's coming, but my job's still open, you know? And it's exactly like you were talking about. Like even in like Ohio and Chicago and other places where it snows a lot, people will just stop and put their flashers on. Dude, in a bad snowstorm in Colorado, people are still driving out, and the funniest part is it doesn't just stop a snowstorm out there, right? It just gets a little bit lighter, and then people go out. The funniest thing is to see the people that have tried to pull off onto the side of the road, but it's this like there's like ditches and canals, right? So there's like in the snow, like there's the level road, right? And then there's just the back ends of cars sticking up out of the snow, just all along the road. I was like, oh shit.
Our first
every year
snow in fucking Georgia, Eva was in the little Murano that I drive now, and it was stuck. And I had a little Jeep. And it was a piece of shit, but it was still a Jeep. It still had a lot of fucking cool gears on it. So I just pushed her car through our little neighborhood. And fucking as we're going, all of a sudden we come across a Toyota fucking pickup truck.
It's just like face down,
Just fucking, and the people were fine. They're standing around next to it, like it was a slow slide, but that's where we are. Fucking like, and that shit. If you don't know how to manage, but we were in Colorado. I want to say me, Tommy Donuts, and Marlon in September, like a year or two ago, and as we're leaving, they're like, "Oh, you guys are getting out?" We're like, "Yeah, we're leaving tomorrow." We're like, "Oh, good, because if you wait another week, it was September. They're like, if you wait another week or two, you might get stuck."
Yeah.
We were like, "What?" And lo and behold, like less than a month later, like, and we learned as we were going in on the Kansas side, there are spots on the highway where they literally have big like arms that go in front of the highway to shut the fucking highway for the snow. Where in Florida, even in the hurricane, they don't do shit like that. It's just like, hey, figure it out.
If you're out, you're on your own.
Outside of curfew on the highway by cops. In town is different, but on the highway, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm trying to get to my grandparents or to my girlfriends or whatever, my wife, you know what I mean, at the time, girlfriend or whatever." And fucking, they're just like, "Good luck, motherfucker."
Yeah, good luck.
There's no light south of X, like whatever. Like, good luck.
Good luck.
That shit is.
Dude, I've never been told good luck by a cop. Yeah, I've never been told good luck by cops more in my entire life than driving around in Florida during like an emergency. They're like, "Good luck, man." Luck. They're like, "Good luck, brother. Just get safe."
Where you going?
All right, good. Okay.
Good luck.
Good luck, man. You're going into the black hole. It's like, okay, I'm just going home. They're like, "Don't go home." Like, but all right, yeah. They're like, "But if that's what you got to do, man." Whereas like I got thrown in jail for a month for 5 unpaid parking tickets in Colorado. They're like, "You're fucking going to jail." Sweet.
Yeah, in Florida, they're like they'll pick you up and they'll be like, you don't got any crack on you? All right, here's an A form.
Dude, I've
Go,
told,
go to court on this.
yeah, dude, I've told the story one time, man. I had this unpaid speeding ticket in Florida that I forgot about for like a year. The cops came to my door. I was like, oh shit, let me tell my girlfriend that I'm going to jail. And they're like, going to jail? Do you like, did you do something? Do you have a warrant? And I was like, no, man, you're gonna take me to jail for a speeding ticket. And they laughed at me, and they're like,
Right.
this is our slow day. We're doing you a service. We're letting you know that if you don't pay this, they're gonna take your driver's license away. And I was like, really? And then I told him how I got arrested for parking tickets, and
Teenage baby.
yeah, I was like,
Sweet
really?
angel, baby.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god. But I told him the story of how like I had 5 different parking tickets in 5 different counties, and I got shuffled around the jails for a month, and they're like, and then they're like, that's terrible. They're like, the one dude put his arm on my shoulder. He's like, you're not,
Buddy,
he's like, that's not gonna happen to
buddy,
you in
buddy.
Florida. He's like, we got real people to take to jail, and I was like, okay. He's
That's
like,
true as fuck, dude.
yeah. I
You
was
got
like,
real motherfuckers that take.
yeah. Dude, I got pulled over. My dad used to live in Riviera, and I got pulled over on the way to his house because I had a taillight out. And literally, like as he was like looking at my stuff, he's like, "Everything checks out." And I hear on his radio, it literally was the gunshots. It was ka ka, and it was just like, "Assistance, officer!" Like he was not the guy that was asking for assistance was scared. He was like, "Assistance, help, need help." And the guy was just like, "Get your shit fixed," and then he's like, "Get out of here." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, like." Real shit's happening. They don't have time to
There's
fucking
real business
take.
to be attended
Yeah,
to in Florida, bro.
that's dude. Those officers. When I told them the story, how like I sat in jail for almost a week in like 4 and 5 jails, and then when I got transferred to the last one, the judge was like, "Get the fuck out of here. This is bullshit." They
Dude,
were looking at me like I was telling a war story, and they were like, "Oh, what? That is disgusting. You had to go to." They're like, "You had to go to jail because you parked in the wrong spot." They're like, "That's ridiculous."
I was living in Fort Worth, Texas, and I was walking through my neighborhood, walking my dog, smoking a bone, and a buddy of mine who lived in the complex was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "Enjoying a walk. What's up with you?" And he's like, "Buddy, if a cop drives by and sees you, like they're gonna try and take you for the mandatory 5, I believe is what it was at the time." And I was like, "Excuse me?"
For
And they're
what?
like, "Any possession, 0 tolerance, marijuana, mandatory 5."
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that got overturned like 2012 or something like that, but it was like 2009. And fucking,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? Because I was spoiled from being in Florida, being in fucking Miami or Lake
Yeah.
Worth or in fucking
Yeah.
Hallandale or Hollywood on the beach where cops can see you. The worst thing you're gonna be doing is like get rid of it, put
Yeah.
it out.
They're
The worst
like,
I've had
"Get it
happen
now."
is a
Yeah.
cop throw my weed on the floor and step on it and be like,
You
fucking.
know, in
just to be a
Colorado,
dick.
because it was like even before it was legal, like it was such a like the state was so synonymous with like weed that like
Yeah.
that was one of the only things where like they were
Well,
hard
I'm
on
just,
it.
I guess, referencing in general how like they let certain shit just go. in
Yeah.
Florida as far as like,
Well, that's why I was
I've had my
saying
tags, I've
I
had bad
like
tags
Colorado
so
and
many times.
Florida because they're kind of similar types of people. The only thing that was a lot different was the enforcement of the law,
Yeah,
except for that one thing. Like, you have no idea how many times I'd get pulled over when I was a kid, where they're like, "Yeah, just take your bowl and smash it on the ground. That way we know you're not smoking while you're driving, like we pulled you over doing." And I'm like, "All right, I got it." But like that was like the loosest thing they were like weed was like nothing, even though it was like an actual illegal drug. But like if you did anything else,
dude,
if you didn't pay any fine, right to jail. Right to jail.
dude, jail, overcooked,
Right to
undercooked,
jail.
bro.
Every
Dude,
county, right to jail.
dude, there was a fucking cop in Palm Springs who had a pickup truck. They had like a pickup truck at Palm Springs, and I remember
A lifted pickup truck?
What
it
was
might
his
have been
name?
lifted. I don't remember the cop's name. It might have been Hall, but fucking.
Yes.
I just remember. So the pickup truck, we were smoking a bowl by the VFW side of the ball field by the
Yeah.
bleachers, and all of a sudden, out of the backside where they would fuel up on the other side of the VFW hall,
Yeah.
comes the pickup truck, and we're like, but I'm literally like, and he gets out and he's like, "What are you doing?" And he like looks at it, smells. He's like, "This is dog shit. What
Yeah.
these guys?" And he like emptied out the bowl. He put it on the fucking bumper, and then he just dropped the tailgate and smushed it.
Oh.
Fucking, and he was like, then he just opened it and fucking he was like, I'm not gonna search you because I'm sure you have that shitty weed on you. Don't smoke it out here in public. There's a lot of kids playing ball and shit. And we're like, all right, cool. And he's like,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here. And that was it. It was like,
That's what, man.
cost me a fucking $20 gas station pipe.
Fine. Yeah. Fine. That's why I don't know why people fucking march or like protest in Florida against cops. Like I understand there's a lot of crooked cops, but like
well, I've
they're-
also been kicked in the head by a cop before. I've
they're
also
crooked.
Been, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they're crooked. Like, but more of them are crooked. Like they're running all the hookers in whatever city you're in. You know.
Yeah,
And the
into
drug
hookers,
dealers.
So I don't
Yeah.
know.
No. I mean, remember I told you that I told some story about that sheriff that I worked with at Target, and then all the sheriffs and some cops fucking came in and told him like you can't work here anymore. You gotta like work with us. And he told me why he had to work there because he was like, I'm the only guy that's not on the take. And I was like, that makes me feel weird. And he was telling me, he's like, yeah, man, I don't want to run hookers. I don't want to like cover drug dealers. Like, I don't want to do that shit. I just want to like provide for my family.
But I always
Like,
feel
for-
like people who tell you too much personal shit like that right out of the gate might be a little fucking nuts.
That was not right out of the gate. That took
Oh,
me.
okay.
That took me 2 years of working with him.
Oh,
And
okay,
like,
that's different.
and
I thought you like first shift. I've met guys who are on like first shift on a job and they're like, listen, man, I got a lot of shit going on I don't want people to know about, but I'll tell you every little fucking
That shit-
detail.
no,
about it."
he was
Fucking, or you're like,
Cuban.
you just met me, motherfucker. Like, you just...
He was a Cuban dude, and I had gone over to his house for like family parties and stuff, and like it was always when we were unloading the truck, I'd be like, dude, you're a sheriff, man, like you're a deputy, like why you shouldn't need to work here. And he's like, I got like 6 kids, man. He's like, you don't understand, like I just need more money. And I'm like, there's got to be some
kids. They got 4 moms.
yeah,
I
he's like,
understand the
no,
story.
it was like a regular.
Watch it live.
They were all the same
Well-
mom. Like, but he was like, but I was like, what is going on, man? This is weird every day. And then finally one day when like we were unloading in like the super secure room with all the electronics, he was like, I'll tell you, man, but like you can't tell anybody. It was like, this is how it is for like in the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department, man. It's like everybody's running this, everybody's running that. And he's like, and if you tell anybody, he's like, I will deny, like I won't even know you and you won't work here anymore. And I'm like, okay. I was like, all right,
Florida's-
man. And I
Florida's
told
a place
everybody
that
that.
has a massive history of corruption, though, in general, like with everything.
Yeah.
And like there was a couple classes of the police in Miami that like the entire class either wound up incarcerated. or
Yeah,
deceased.
yeah.
Like, that happened more than once. Florida's wild. Florida's the Wild West. It just
Yeah, man.
is what it is. Now, and speaking of the West, I know you're getting tired, Cat, and you did not have to come on tonight to be with us. You've been fucking out there
Yeah.
beating trees all day. So I want to leave on the wildness of everything. What are you hoping to see, do, or experience during this California adventure? What's your like number one, other than like the gain or whatever? But like, what is your number one goal, like personally, on this fucking adventure? And like, have you hit some of those? You know what I mean? Checks. Like, have you checked some of those boxes?
I just want to make it through it without choke slamming somebody.
Good luck.
So far,
There's
so
too
good
many
then, if
people.
You haven't yet.
There's too many people. There's too many people that are yeah.
And I'm impressed with the nails, considering the work. I gotta tell you, very
I'm
impressive.
climbing trees right now, but I can climb with these.
It's blingy, and I dig it. I dig it. It's popping. I never saw you with that kind of shit before.
So-
Fucking-
I really have to. You've been out there a year and you haven't choke slammed somebody. Like
Yeah.
I really have to commend you because Andrew, everybody out there is that asshole like I am, but they're fucking stupid as
they're all choke
fuck.
slammable.
There's so
Yeah,
many
man.
dumb fuckers.
Dude, it didn't used to be like that. It didn't used to be like that.
Don't
I
choke
understand
slam,
where they're
Cat.
coming from.
Climb those trees and fucking be safe. Stay away from the flames. Fucking run, Forrest, run.
Trees.
Fucking.
Occasionally.
I was gonna say, yeah, unless you see a tree that you really want to climb, then you
Yeah.
climb that shit. That's I know you. I've been with you, and you've been like,
Sausalito
I had my gear in the truck.
got some great
I would
trees.
fucking climb that. Fucking.
But yeah. What do we got? We got Patreon, shirts.
Yes. Check us out on our Patreon. Check out our shirts. fucking share to all of your friends.
Yeah.
There's
Buy a
shirts.
Yeah,
There's
buy
the
a shirt.
LSD podcast shirts. Fucking
Hoodies,
check out our shit.
everything.
Yeah, there's hoodies, there's
Hats.
t-shirts.
New shirt
we will
designs
have
coming soon from
New shirt
Gene.
designs coming soon. Ooh, me and Gene have talked about doing some stuff together when we're gonna
Yes.
talk about it next week when he's on the show.
That's the only reason I said it, because I know Gene
Yes.
probably heard that and was like, I never said I'd do anything. Yeah. No, you're gonna do something, Gene. You're gonna do a
Gene
shirt
is
for
part
us.
of the family.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fucking- he's just a lovable sort.
He is the
He
best.
is. He's so
Yeah.
wonderful.
Every
Yes.
time I see him, it makes me happy. But
You
yes,
know, I don't think I've ever been upset around Gene.
right? I think he's a good mood guy. He's a good mood guy. Like so far,
And
so good.
He kind of reminds me of like a lovely mythical creature. Like, I don't
Yes.
know.
You know what?
Sparkles. I fucking love him.
Yeah, he's very sprightly.
Yes.
Well, you can watch him talk
He's
to
a
us next
health
Thursday.
freak.
Yes, he'll be here. He'll be here with us on next Thursday's show.
Yes.
And I can't wait to talk to him. So check that out.
And you
Like
can
I
chat
said,
at him
Subscribe, share.
You can
Yep,
chat at
to
him
Gene.
while
way
he's
he
on the
chats to
show.
others.
Yes.
And Kat, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. It was so nice to hang with you for a little
Yeah.
bit tonight. Fucking and thank you after having such a long ass day, joining us. That's been super cool of you.
Yes.
It was
We miss
fantastic.
you. The next time you're on the Eastern Seaboard, you better stop by Georgia so we can fill you with barbecue pork.
Hell yeah. I'm so down.
All right, homies. It was another great conversation.
And
Thank
yeah.
you.
You guys be safe.
You
Be
Have a
too.
good night.
safe.
Bye.
Yes. Bye.
Okay, stream's over. Whew, I'm also glad you ended that too, because